Hi, I'm Mark Murphy, and this is TravelTube.com, the destination for travel experts. And I have one for you on hold right now. She's going to join us. Her name is Adrienne Brown. She's with Breathless Getaways, breathlessgetaways.com. And this lady is very active on social media. The way I found her was seeing some great videos on YouTube. And I'm happy to have her join us because I'd love to share these agents, advisors, whatever you want to call them, who not only get out there and explore these destinations, but then bring back the content in order for us to push it out and for them to get engaged with potential customers on social media. So if you're a travel agent or a travel advisor, this is what you want to be doing to get yourself visibility. So here she comes. Get ready. Bada bing. There she is. Okay. Welcome
Hello,
to Travel
Mark.
Tube. Hey. All right. Well, thanks for joining me today. I love the fact that you're very active on social media. You push a lot of content out. And you got started how long ago?
I started with my channel during COVID.
Oh,
So it
okay.
was 2020. I've been a travel advisor for 10 years, but in 2020, we couldn't really sell travel. So I just started talking about travel. And then that's pretty much where it took off. Once the world opened back and we could explore, then it was time to do my videos, do reviews. And that's how I got to kind of like take off. That my business like simply took off from YouTube, going from like zero clients during COVID to I don't even know, maybe 250 that year within
Wow.
one
In 1 year.
within 1 year.
How many, like on a regular basis, let's look at it like per month, how many random people reach out to you on YouTube or some other social media to ask about travel?
Okay, so the times vary. I'll say in like January, February, March, sometimes I get 10 a day. 10 a day. So we get a lot of inquiries. Most of them come from the YouTube channel. I'll say probably 85% of my clients come from YouTube. There's a small percentage that comes from Instagram as well, but I have more followers, more engagement on YouTube. So I will say if you are not on YouTube right now, you should absolutely get on YouTube and start showing the destinations that you go to, talk about the destinations you sell, give travel tips, because it's a huge asset to have. Like when I first started, I remember for the first few months, I didn't really get a lot of inquiries. No one was reaching out. And I'm like, I'm getting like thousands of views, but no one's reaching out. And then I spoke to someone and he's like, are you asking for the sale during your videos? And I was like, no. Once he told me, like, you need to ask for the sale, as I started asking for the sale, telling them how to contact me, the benefits that they'll get from booking with me, it was nonstop to the point where I would have to turn down business because I couldn't take it all. I'm like, I'm one person. I can't take all of this. So I would have to turn them away.
Yeah.
But I ended up building a team. So now I have agents that I can send these leads to as well.
How many agents do you work with as ICs?
I have 18 in total.
Wow.
But as you know, sometimes they will sign on for the travel benefits and don't really sell travel. I'll say the active ones, it's probably about 11 that are actually active.
Okay. And they're doing more than just their family and friends, right? Because some people come on and they think they're either going to get rich and be driving around in a Mercedes and live in oceanfront because,
Right.
hey, I followed the dream that you guys outlined. And that's usually the MLM guys. They try to get everybody excited. It's like a
Exactly.
churn mill. Do you think that some of those people come to you as a result of seeing some of that stuff and then they realize, no, you actually have to work?
Yes. So I'll say this. So I'll say half of my agents were clients. They were clients of mine. Once I got to the point where I'm like, you know what? I want to add on a few agents. They reached out. Like, I've always thought about being a travel agent, didn't know how to go about it. I want to do it. And I let them know, okay, like it's work. It looks beautiful and glamorous as you see me traveling the world and I'm booking these trips, but you actually have to work one-on-one, get personalized services. And they're like, yeah, sure, great. So I onboarded when I first started 3 people. And after a couple of months, we did training. We did an extensive training. And they were like, okay, Adrienne, I know you told me it was a lot of work. I didn't realize how much work it was because I'll say for the most part, yes, they traveled all the time. They book their own travel, but it's so different when you do it for somebody else. And it is work. And I've had clients, I ended up teaching a course, how to become a travel agent and the travel agent blueprint, pretty much telling you how to start your business, how to grow your business, what to post on social media, different platforms you can use. And it was a 4-week course. One person said to me, Adrienne, I realized with my full-time job and being a travel advisor, she said, I didn't know how much work it was. I won't have the capacity to do it. So some people really, they don't realize until they're actually becoming a travel agent and now doing work. So there are wonderful benefits, of course, but yes, you
Yeah.
have to work.
Well, it's funny because I laugh because do they come back and say, now I really appreciate all the stuff you've done for me? Like, do you get that?
Yes, absolutely. She said, I will absolutely continue being a client, but as far as like an agent, I don't have the time to do it. So yeah, they definitely appreciate that because it's a lot.
So give me an example of what you would say, like in your videos, that kind of got the avalanche of inquiries coming in. When you said, hey, I'd ask for the sale, you would just tell them like, hey, this is what I do. This is what I do. I do these videos so I can show it to you. And then I can, ideally bring you on as a customer, and it doesn't cost you anything because I get paid by the travel supplier. Do you get into all that stuff or?
So on the video, what I started to say in every video was, uh, book your next trip with me. If you love this property, reach out. I'd love to get you booked here. We can get you perks, from a $200 resort credit to an in-room champagne breakfast. And you'll only get these perks from booking with us. We take care of every single thing. We book every element of your trip. So all you do is just like sit back and relax and, get ready to go away. So that's one thing I say. And then I also started creating scarcity. So I started to say, we only take on a few clients a month, or select client, a few clients a month. And it was kind of true because I'm like, I can't take that much. So we only take a select clients a month, but reach out and I'll check my availability. I would literally have people saying, I want to book with you. Please, can you take me? Do you have availability? And most times I would say, absolutely, yes, I have availability. Or sometimes it really was like, I won't be able to take you on, but I have an agent that works very closely with me that I can, connect you with. So on the videos, I actually do charge a planning fee, but on the video, I don't say that I charge a planning fee.
Got
When
it.
they reach out to me, sometimes I don't even say it in an email. Like when they reach out, I schedule a consultation right away. And then on the call, we talk about their must-haves. What is your wish list? How we can enhance their trip. And then I'll say, okay, so let me tell you how the process works. We do charge, everything that we discuss. We take care of booking every single element of your trip. So for your flights, the hotels, your excursions, travel insurance, we do charge a planning fee. The planning fee is $150, which includes taking care of every element. Like you don't have to worry about anything. We search for best rates and we do this and that. So for the most part, people are like, okay, yep, I want to move forward. Send me the invoice. Of course, you will have some people that's like, well, I didn't have to pay another travel agent. Why do I have to pay for this? And I explain, like every travel agent, does their business differently. This is how I do mine. And just like you would pay for a specialist, you're paying for, the time for we can customize your trip. We put you in contact with our team that we have in the destination, because in some of the destinations, I always try to meet like a tour guide where I build a personal relationship with him and a connection with him, where if I have a client going, I reach out to him, he takes care of them. They get a local experience. So for the most part, people don't have a problem paying the fee. Sometimes they do. And if they do, I'm like, if I have an agent that wants to take them and, they don't charge a fee, they can absolutely work with them. But for myself, I do charge a planning fee.
Got it. So the planning fee, does that get pushed into the trip itself, and does it come off the trip, or is it just a straight up planning fee?
It's a straight up planning fee. And that is a question that some people ask, like, okay, so if I pay the planning fee, do you credit it towards my booking? I will admit, when it's slow, let's say things are slow, I don't have a lot of clients, most times I will be like, okay, yes, I'm going to credit it to the booking. Once you book, we'll credit it to your booking. But for the most part, it is a planning fee that covers the time that I take to, build out your itinerary, create the quotes. I'm available anytime you have any questions, because as we know, I wish it was so simple where you do a quote for someone, you may go back a couple of times just to change the room or price out something else, and then they book. But a lot of times it's a lot of back and forth. a lot of options, a lot of phone calls. So for me, I'm like, I have to, take care of myself, pay for my time to do the planning and the booking for you. But then, yes, of course, we do get paid commission as well. I will say with sandals, I book a lot of sandals. If I have a client that wants to book with sandals, I don't charge a planning fee because sandals commission is really
Right.
really good. If it's a client that wants a Ryu property, we don't get a lot of commission with Ryu. So with that, I'm absolutely going to charge a planning fee. Because
Got
sometimes with Ryu, your commission's only like $200.
Yeah. So so when it comes to something like that, is it where people go, now that I'll just go do it myself? Like, what do they tell you when that happens?
Sometimes I have people that actually, I've had someone, and a few people will do this, but I'll give you an example. Someone said to me, I checked Costco vacations
Oh
and,
boy.
I could just book it on my own. And I said to him, yes, you can just book it on your own. But let me give you an example. Like if you want a nice suit, you may want to go to Bloomingdale's to get that suit and you want quality. And you'll have that suit last you for a really long time. I said, but if you on a budget and, you just want something that maybe you could wear a few times, you may go to a discount store. I said, Costco is a discount place. You're not going to get me. You're not going to get the service I provide. You're not going to get the expertise. You're not going to get those local experiences that you said were important to you. I said, you can book with them, but just know this, what I described, you're not going to get that with them. And then once I told him that, he's like, you know what? Send me the invoice. I'll pay it. And then sometimes you will have someone that's like, I can just book this on my own. And I say, okay, like, yeah, if you want to, you can absolutely book it on your own. I don't want you to feel like I'm, forcing you to book. But yeah, if you feel better booking it on your own, have an amazing trip. And then, actually, you know what? I did have someone that said she ended up reaching back out a year later. Adrienne, I should have booked with you. And I forget what her issue was, but she did have issues on the trip and was like, I should have just booked with you. But this year I'm planning my next trip. And I want you to be my travel agent. Send me the invoice. And I was like, okay, great. So yeah, you definitely have value in a travel advisor. My thing is you have to know your work. You have to show your value. You have to show them why they need you. Make them feel stupid if they don't book with you.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
Not always do you have to charge a planning fee. I have agents that don't charge a planning fee, or they may pay, do something a little bit less, or they may say, okay, $50 for the planning, but we'll credit it back to your booking. It's totally up to what you want to do.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So I find it interesting when I hear from other travel agents that, when they send an email, it's like a Gmail account, or it's an old AOL account, or, whatever it happens to be. And they're missing the fact that they're trying to build a brand. And it seems like you've done the business stuff correctly. You've got an email tied to your URL. You've got a website. Your website, by the way, is very nice.
Thank you.
I like it a lot. Very professional. So to me, what would your suggestion be to travel agents? And I'll share your website as we're chatting about it, because I think the agents that are out there would love to see exactly what you're doing and why it works so well.
That would be great. Thank you.
That's the first thing you see when you show up, right?
Yeah. Put you in paradise. Yes.
Exactly.
Love it. Like I want to be there right now.
What pool was that? Where was that shot?
I think it was Bali, but I got that from iStock photos. So I purchased it and used it. I wish that was me there. But yeah, so a lot of my images I got from iStock photos.
And that's what I wanted to touch on, because you can basically buy images to professionalize your website.
Yes.
All of these obviously are images that you grabbed and are using. And then, of course, you have your own content.
Right.
And it's interesting that you don't see many agents doing that. And I don't get it. They've got like sometimes business card websites. And even if they have a website, it doesn't have, their email. When they send their email, it's coming from a Gmail account. And it's very easy to set it up and mask it. You can still use Gmail, but it's like an alias, and it comes in as, Adrienne at Breathless Getaways, but it could be on Gmail. Like there's a lot of ways to do it. Why do you think you did it that way while others don't? Like, I'm just curious.
I feel like, so even when I first started, like, I'll say 2020, when I really started with Breathless Getaways, initially I didn't want to do a website because I'm like, do I really need that? Maybe I'll just do business cards and that's it. But then I realized a lot of people are saying, "What's your website? Where can I find you?" So I said, "Okay, I need web presence. I want to be professional. I want to do this the right way." So definitely, you should not be emailing clients from a Gmail, an AOL, a Yahoo. Like you said, you can mask it. You can use Gmail.
Yep.
And I use GoDaddy, but we have Outlook that my company uses. My agents, they have the same thing. I let them know, don't ever email from your personal, be professional. Email from your Breathless Getaways account. With the website, I feel it is so important. People do want to see that you have a presence there. So you can talk about, you can give them more information about you, about the destinations that you travel to. Like, it's an experience, kind of. When you go on my website, I realized I said I want people to feel like they're on vacation. So you want to give them an experience. It doesn't even have to be a 6-page website. It could be 3 pages,
Yeah.
about you, about your destinations, how they can work with you. So I think that is really important. Even a social media presence is important, but over that, even if it's a 1-page landing page, you need to have some place to send them. So I think it's really
Right.
important for
Yeah.
agents.
Worst case, somebody mentions your name and they type it in and they find you. Otherwise,
Right.
I mean, it's funny. One of my first jobs in advertising, this is how old I am. I was selling ads in the yellow pages to,
Oh, wow.
to small,
Oh,
to small businesses,
nice.
right? And
Yeah.
now it's all about search. So like if the thing about the yellow pages, this is like just a thing to think about if you're a travel agent. That was called a ready to buy market. People were going to the yellow pages because they needed a plumber, they needed a travel agent, they needed somebody, and they would go to the heading, they would look in the heading and they would see different people. It wouldn't tell them geographically how close they were, but the reality
Right.
was it was probably in their area because you're buying the stuff regionally, the advertising. You're not buying for New York if you live in New Jersey. So the
Right.
interesting part about that, or you're buying for Bergen County, but typically you're not doing that if you're living in Delaware. So,
Right.
I find it interesting, but now today it's all about search, and now kind of search is going towards AI. Search is now
Yeah.
being taken over by AI, which if for investors in Google, where they make a lot of money on search advertising, they're concerned because a lot of people won't get past that AI summary at the top because it gives them a
Mhm.
lot of the answers across
Right.
dozens and dozens of websites. So to me, if you have a website and you have a presence, worst case, it's a business card. Best
Right.
case, it's more dynamic. So the question for you is, how do you make it so that other than just finding you, if they know your name or looking you up, um,
Right.
how do you make sure that there's reasons for them to come back to your website as existing customers or tire kickers just to check you out?
And that's true too. So how I would get people coming back? I have to admit I haven't done it in a while though. I had an email sequence that I created, and it was like a 3-month email sequence. And within that, it would be I'd write different articles on the website. I would link it to that website. I would talk about my favorite destination or a group trip that I'm doing. I would link it back to the website. So you can absolutely get your current clients or even just like leads, any leads that come in, you can get them coming back, but you have to give them the content, include the link in your emails, and then that way that'll get them coming back to your website. And you want to keep it up to date too. I have to admit, even with that, like for the blog page, I haven't written a blog in a long time, but if you want them going to your site, you have to direct them there. They won't just like, I feel like they won't just go to your website on a random day. But if they know it's constantly updated, you put travel tips up there, you have your videos up there, give them like inspiration or group trips, that'll get them coming back to your website.
Absolutely. And what do you use for your CRM? Like what do you use? Do you use like a Salesforce or like an industry one?
I actually use Travel Joy.
Okay. I
So
know
yeah,
Travel
I use
Tools.
Travel
Yeah.
Joy as a CRM, and I have Test also. So some of my agents, they like Test better to use as a CRM.
Okay.
I use Travel Joy as a
Okay.
CRM, and with Travel Joy, like there's so many different things that you can do in there between like creating beautiful itineraries and collecting payments, doing group proposals on there. So Travel Joy, that's usually my go-to for like everything.
Got it. And that's probably saved you a lot of time, I would think, too, right?
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. You can even, like right now, I'm doing a group trip to Thailand. We started the planning like last September, and we've been collecting the payments. With Travel Joy, I have everyone set up on automatic, so I don't even have to think about it. The payments come out automatically. They get an updated invoice. I get an alert that the money is available, and it saves so much time because I would say maybe 2 years prior, I didn't have Travel Joy for that. I did a group trip and I was literally feeling like a bill collector because I would have to email them, the payment is due or overdue, or this is how much you owe. It was annoying. And then I had to create invoices. With Travel Joy, it saves you so much time.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Absolutely.
So it's kind of funny because it's like I went to court because of a builder issue I had, and I've never gone to court with somebody, and I went there, and it's kind of funny. I kept on hearing all these collection. It was all like I forget the name of the collection agency, but it was like portfolio recovery services, and it's always like, give us our money, pay us, and otherwise we're going to break your legs. We're going to take you to court. They didn't say break your legs. I'm kidding. I don't want to get sued by the folks that, but it's kind of funny because it's like, yeah, you better pay me or, we're going to be coming by,
Oh my gosh.
Did you give them protection? Did they give you protection money while they were at it? I'm kidding. I got you.
Like what?
Pay me, otherwise your travel protection's not going to happen.
Right? Exactly. Oh my goodness. But yeah, it was so annoying.
That would actually be a pretty good skit. Somebody should do like the travel protection skit for like the travel insurance guys. Gab.
Oh my God.
Yes, you're not getting the protection.
Yes.
You gotta have a deep New York accent. And,
yeah.
And I'd say you have to be Italian. Come on, the mafia, right? So,
yes.
So we know it's other groups too. It's everybody. Mm-hmm. The Irish, everybody.
Yeah. They're a little calm for you. You better pay for it.
Exactly. All right. So tell me some of the latest trips you've been on and what stood out. Like, what was the last trip you went to check out, and what'd you uncover?
Okay, so my last trip was Antigua. I went 2 months ago. So Antigua, I've sold it a few times, not many. I would say under 10 times. I've sold Antigua, never been there. It was my first experience there. With this trip, honestly, I just wanted to relax. Usually when I go on, I call it vacation, but it doesn't feel like vacation. I hop around to, like, if I'm staying for 5 days, sometimes I'll stay at 3 different resorts, or I visit at least like 5 resorts when I'm there. With this trip, I said I'm going to stay at one and visit one, and that's it. But so we stayed at Sandals Antigua. Beautiful property. It is dated, which I knew about, but overall beautiful property on a gorgeous beach. Service was excellent. The food was great. And then we visited Tamarind Hills. Tamarind Hills, exceptional. So with Tamarind Hills, it's not an all-inclusive. It is family friendly, and it's located on one of the best beaches in Antigua. With that hotel, you have an option for either a villa, a 1-bedroom, a 2-bedroom. You could do a studio. They have many different options, and they have one main pool, and most of the villas comes with a private pool. So they have a lot of different options based on the client's budget or based on your budget. They have one restaurant there, but many options on the menu. Food was excellent. I was there for about 5 or 6 hours. The other thing that we did was Shirley Heights. Before I even got there, everybody's like, you got to go to Shirley Heights. You got to go to Shirley Heights. Shirley Heights, breathtaking. So with Shirley Heights, they start, I would say, at around 3 o'clock. They have a barbecue. So it's a barbecue. You can purchase food there. They have a couple of bars there, but it gets very crowded. So I will say get there by 4 o'clock if you can. Get there by 4 o'clock, but the views from there are breathtaking. So you're up in the mountains. You will see the best sunset view at Shirley Heights. What I like about it too, they have entertainment. So from the moment you arrive, there's entertainment there. There, again, food. Thankfully I ate before I got there because the line for the food was so long. From what I hear, it is really good. But just the views up there were amazing. There's families there, there's couples, there's friends, you meet people there. That one, I will say, you must go to Shirley Heights or send your clients to Shirley Heights if you go to Antigua. We also did a local restaurant. So when I visit destinations, I always want a local experience. I don't want to just do, a tour with the tour company. I want a local experience. So we did go to a local restaurant. It was called Dennis. Yeah, I think it was called Dennis Restaurant. Food was exceptional. The service was great. Beautiful views of the beach. That was really close to Tamarind Hills. And yeah, service was great. The food was amazing. Reasonably priced. So that place I would definitely recommend as well. And we went to, I feel like we did we did a boat ride. So we did island hopping. So I would say if you go to Antigua, you definitely want to see their different beaches. They have 365 beaches, so a beach for every day of the year. So with that boat ride, I think we went to 4 different beaches, all beautiful. You can go snorkeling. If you don't want to do snorkeling, you don't have to. It included food. The food was delicious. And I believe it was only $110 maybe, and it included everything and drinks as well. So yeah, Antigua,
Yeah, because a lot of people don't know much about Antigua. It's one of those, if you've been to Jamaica, if you've been to the Caymans, if you've been to different places, all of a sudden now, you want to do something different.
Right.
Right. Because that's been my experience with folks.
Definitely. And I feel like a lot of times now people have been to Jamaica and Mexico and DR like a million times, they want a different destination. Antigua can absolutely provide you with something different. It's a very safe island. It's safe for solo travelers. It's safe for families. So Antigua should definitely be on your list if you haven't been there. I have a friend. She's also a travel advisor. She's been there 9 times. Wow. So she loves the island. Every time she goes, she'll stay at a different hotel. But yeah, if you haven't been there, definitely go to Antigua. And if your clients are looking for something different, it is an island where initially, before I went, I said it's more for if you just want to relax and, couples, let's say you just want the beautiful beaches, but there's so much more to it than that. There's definitely things to do that'll keep you excited and have entertainment. But I think it's a really great option.
That's awesome. Mm-hmm. So yes. I want to shift back to social media for a second and show some of the things you're doing online. So we talked about your YouTube channel, and it's right here. Yep. And for the folks, these are the main videos. Mm-hmm. And you'll see this one has 305,000.
Yes.
Hey, that's beautiful.
Yes, thank you.
That's pretty amazing. Now, is that because of all the people that want to go to the Temptation Resort, or why?
I think it got so many reviews. Yes, because so many people want to go to Temptation and they hear mixed things about it, and they're like, okay, what is it really like? So for me to talk about the shocking stories, and it's all about your subject line too. So when I talked about the shocking stories, and it was I think it was like a 10-minute video. 14. Yeah. 14 minutes, the length of the video, because people stayed on and watched it, YouTube pushed it even more. So yes, people are very curious about Temptation.
I'll bet they are.
Yes.
That's too crazy. And then you obviously, people don't realize you got to do the shorts. You got to do the short videos, right?
Yes.
Because in the scrolling, they just pick up views. Like as people are going through it, like we all do it. We're all like ADHD now, where we get on it, we start looking at the shorts, we go to the next one, and they we go to the next one automatically if you have it set that way. And it just keeps your presence out there. So you've got that as well. Do you ever use any of the AI tools? I mean, I think Opus Clips, people probably see that advertised. I find that that's a very good tool because you can basically take a full-length video, upload it, and that's what we'll do with this video. We'll upload it to Opus Clips. It'll spit out 10, 12, 15 versions of mini clips, and then you can connect all your social media to it and just schedule it out. And then you spend like maybe 20 minutes and you've got 10, 15 videos that are going to hit. If it's a 45-minute total video, it'll give you at least 10, 15 videos that will then get scheduled out and hit all your social media. So definitely something to to check out if you're out there and you want to get some exposure. And because even though it's an AI tool, it's not an AI video, so it doesn't impact, the reach or the viewership or anything else, because some people confuse the tool with the
Mhm.
fake videos that are created via AI, which
Right.
I've yet to see good ones on travel, to be frank. Um,
Okay, Mark, I just have to say that is a huge gem that you just dropped. I never heard of that before, and I need that. So when we get off the call, I'm gonna find it. So it's Opus Clip. You said
Opus,
Opus Clip.
OPUS clips. We've been using it for about 5 months. We really like it.
Okay.
And when you see the short clips that we do on social media, that's how they're
Mhm.
generated. And it'll put the captions in for you
Oh,
as well. So, yeah, and we've done
that's
very
fantastic.
little so far with YouTube, but we're getting, like you said, we're getting like 1,200 views on a video that I was shocked. I was like, whoa, hold
Really?
on a second. Like,
Wow.
we haven't even promoted it yet. And
That's
yeah,
fantastic.
yeah, good stuff. Good stuff.
That's
Now,
really great.
you also have a Facebook presence, right? So, um, let's talk a little bit about that. So,
I was
again,
gonna I have to oh, sorry, go on.
go ahead. No, I was just going to ask, how
Okay.
long ago did you set it up?
So I set this up probably 3 years ago. And at one point, I was very active on Facebook more than Instagram. But then I realized I got more reach and more engagement on Instagram. So what I do now, I just, when I post on Instagram, it automatically goes to my Facebook page.
Yep.
But I have to admit, I have not been on Facebook as much as I should be because it is automatic. I don't go on as much as I should. But I feel like, okay, obviously there's a million platforms out there. I feel like you should select some people don't have time to be on all of them, of course, but select your top two or your top three and then focus on those. So for me right now, it's more YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok. So Facebook, of course, has, my, I guess, ideal client there. I just haven't really had time to focus on it as much.
Got it. And so, really, the driver, I think, from all of this is really YouTube at this point in terms of business, right?
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
then, what
YouTube.
would you say the second aspect of your business is? Is it referral business or is it another social media platform?
It's referral business and repeats, referrals and repeats. And
Gotcha.
what I build relationships with my clients. I have to say, so with YouTube, I do my video. Either I'm doing a voiceover or I'm talk a little bit like in the beginning, and then the client will reach out and say to me, "You seem like you're one of my friends." So when you do these videos, you want to feel relatable. You want to, make them see that they can work with you, be approachable. So when they call me, I talk to them like I'm talking to a friend. I don't want to seem like a salesperson. So I want them to know like I'm invested in their trip and them having the best experience. So I feel like when I have a client that goes away, like obviously you don't want to, once they purchase the trip, they don't hear from you until they leave. You want to stay connected with them. And then before they go away, I reach out like 2 weeks prior, send them, let's say, know before you go tips or recommendations for that particular country, ask them if they want to do another call. Do you have any questions? And then when they're on the trip, I stay in contact with them. So I'll reach out, the first day. How was your check-in experience? Is there anything you need? And what I like is they'll send me pictures. They'll send me pictures and videos. And then when they come back, I have raving fans. That's like, my travel agent is amazing. She's the best. You need to reach out to her. I've gotten bookings just from people posting about their trip and saying how amazing I was throughout the process. And then I'll get a client from that. So you want to create raving fans, be personable, be approachable, be likable. Don't come off too salesy, but you get them coming back and then you get them talking about your business. That's like free promotion. So I think that's really important for people to do.
Yeah, one thing I noticed on your stuff, it's not like you're posting deals. Hey, look, I got a great deal.
Right.
Hey, look, I can get you a balcony cabin. Hey, look, I can do this
Right.
for you, right? Because that's like the thing that's the biggest turnoff. I mean, if it's a great deal and it's like limited and I see it, I know you can
Mhm.
get bookings that way,
Yeah.
but there's a reason they changed it from agent to advisor, right? And I and
Yes.
I and I still have a little challenge with that because if you go on Google or any of the search engines, the number of
Mhm.
searches for travel agent versus travel advisor, it's like it's travel agents still here, travel advisors way down here, right? Because
True.
people don't think of it. And then frankly, a lot of people don't even know what travel agents do, right? They
Right.
still like, well, it's going to cost me more money. In fact,
Yeah.
I'll tell you a funny story. So a guy I know asked me for a recommendation about just thinking about going. I said, the best thing you could do is talk to a travel professional. If you'd like me to connect you with one, I will. So I connect him with somebody. They wanted to get it going really fast. The guy was off with his like grandkids that day. He's a wonderful travel agent, guy I've known for a while. And he left what he was doing, went to his office, put together over a couple hours everything. And then this guy, and I was pissed, is like, I said, how'd it go with Mark? And he's like, oh, well, I found, a different deal and blah, 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 blah. And I booked it myself.
Oh my God.
It's like, you know what, man? Like, and that's where the planning fee comes in. I think Mark would normally, this guy, Mark, he's the same name as me, would normally charge something, right? But because I was referring it, and this is somebody like I worked with 20 years ago. It's not somebody I'm like friends with. And I was super disappointed. I was like, man, that sucks. And I know it does happen, but that's where you get the tire kickers out of the way. You get the Costco shoppers out of the way. And I have nothing wrong with Costco or anything else. But again, you can go find the exact same deal through a travel advisor that you'll get through Costco. Just tell them, hey, listen, I've been looking at Costco, this and that, and I see this like, $12.99 a person for 5 nights all inclusive. And can you match it? And you can go to that tour operator and say to Apple Vacations or whoever that happens to be and say, hey, I'd like to give you guys this business. I need a little flexibility here. Can you make it happen? And they either do or they don't. Right.
And that's so true. Yes. I've gotten a lot of business from price matching. Price matching. So ALG is my go-to. And I've had it like, okay, so when I used to do my consultations, I never talked about price matching. But then I said, you know what, let me start talking about it, because sometimes people will ghost you. You may not hear back, or they'll say they found it cheaper on Expedia. So now what I do when I have a consultation, we talk through what their must-haves are, and I'll let them know. I sell a lot of the inclusive collection. So I'll tell them, if you find a lower rate on, because you're a Hyatt member, or you find a member pricing, let me know. We can price match, and it's a guaranteed price match. And you get me, and you get these benefits, and you're celebrating something. So I let them know, other enhancements that we can do. And that's been closing a lot of sales, because I think before I would price out, let's say, secrets. And if they were a Hyatt member, they would get it lower because they're a Hyatt member, and they wouldn't book with me. So then now, with me telling them, even if you're not a Hyatt member, I will sign you up to be a Hyatt member, so you get the member pricing and we can match it. So that has been getting a lot of sales with that as well.
That's smart right there. That's a great gem for you folks out there.
Yes.
Sign me up as a member. Now I'm a member. Now I save a little money. And how much value? I mean, they don't even know that, most of the consumers, right?
It's true. And sometimes it could save them like $800. They're happy.
They're thrilled. They're like, all I had to do was sign up. Like, yeah, that's it. And and that's part of the reason why the ownership has changed, right? Because now it gives them access to all these rewards members, right?
Yes.
Right.
Oh my goodness.
Now, does that create a little concern among the travel agent marketplace today? Or, it's like, oh my God, they're going to go directly to my clients and all that, or not?
I have to say, with the inclusive collection, I'm not bothered by it. Even Sandals, we know, is like the best. Sandals wants you to have a travel advisor. I've had clients with that will find me on YouTube. They'll say to me, hey, I saw your Sandals Grenada video. Like, I literally had a client that called like 2 weeks ago. Sandals Grenada, we want to have our honeymoon there. This is the room that we want. This is our budget. And I said, okay, we do the consultation. I do the quote. It came to like $12,000. And the next day they booked it, paid in full. I've had other clients that reach out to me. They booked it already, but they saw my video and they're like, I want you to be my travel agent. Can you take over the booking? And I'm like, yes, I can. We reach out to Sandals. Sandals transfers it over to the agency. Even if you book on the property, if my client books on the property, the agency will get it. Now, with the inclusive collection, I'm not concerned with them, but the brand that I am concerned with, because I've heard that they do this, is the Excellence. Not the Excellent. What is it called? Oh yeah, the Excellence Collection. So with that brand, when I have clients that come back, I do know that they do email them. What I do though, I'll put my email address and my phone number. So I don't know if when the client is there, they change it. I don't think so, but I put my email, my phone number, so I get these promos, not it going directly to the client. But yeah, that is a concern with some hotels.
So that's interesting. So just so everybody's clear, for consumers as well, what Adrienne's saying is she basically, when she sets up the reservation, instead of putting the client's email address, client's phone number in, because you're representing the client, like the lawyer, it's like, go talk to my lawyer, go talk to my travel advisor, right? And that's what you're doing. And that way you're basically continuing that relationship. And if there's something good there, you can pass that on to them, right? And say, hey, thought you'd like to see this. Give me a call if you'd like to explore it further for your next trip. But at the same time, you kind of make sure like, hey, I'm giving you, as they say in football, I'm giving you the Heisman, right? You know, to anybody who tries to do that. And you know what, to me, it's always been a free market. It's like, who's going to decide how you want to book? So when I would hear travel suppliers, they would hire some e-commerce guy. He comes over for some platform about cost per acquisition and blah, 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 and cutting out the middleman and yada, 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 direct business. And they're like, and we're going to do this. And then, you know, and then we're going to have the customer do this. And we're going to make all these things happen. And I go, you know, who's going to make the decision? The client. The client's going to decide, do I want to book direct? The client's going to book direct. But if you create value, they're going to book with you as the travel agent. I'm saying agent because I'm so in tune with that for doing this for 30 years. So
I say it too.
Yeah.
I feel like people relate to it more when you say that's what they know, you know?
Exactly. So I remember when it came down, like, you know, advisor. And I was thinking to myself, if you type in travel advisor on Google keyword search and travel agent, it's like 5 to 10-fold more travel agent inquiries versus travel advisor inquiries. So I think it's a good process in terms of positioning and marketing, because people would rather have an advisor, you know, because it's like, I'm getting advice.
Right.
So it's all good. But yeah, it is kind of funny how that all plays out. But
it is. It really is.
Here, let me just show everybody one more thing here that I think is really important. And obviously you're doing a lot of stuff right because bam. So this is Google reviews, right? And you've got 100 reviews, which is great, which is a great number. And for people that don't have a lot of this going on, and also what I like about it is you're responsive. So when people, you know, post it, you want to get back to them because that creates more engagement, etc. And when you do a search for, like, you know, so Breathless Getaways reviews, right? Because if I'm thinking about using this company that you own, I probably want to know a little bit more about it. And if I go here, Google reviews, and I see 4.9, and I see you responding to them, and I see people taking their time to really say stuff that, you know, is really wonderful. I think that's great. I think that's great.
Thank you.
So
it is really important. It is so important to have reviews, and especially if they're finding you on YouTube or on Instagram or TikTok, you know? So for me, like, in the beginning, and it happened recently to me, in the beginning, of course, people are like, okay, she sounds nice on the phone, but is this really, they know it's me because they can, you know, the voice on YouTube. But it's like, but what if I give her this credit card info and she doesn't book my trip? They don't trust it. I've had people that will reach out and like, I want to book with you, but I need to know that, you know, it's really you. Can we get on? And I tell, let's get on Zoom. Let's get on Zoom so you can see that it's me. It hasn't happened in a while, but a few months ago, I had a client that came from YouTube, and we had the consultation on the phone, and he did the deposit right away. Deposit was low. It was $100. Total trip was like $7,000. So when it came time for final payment, I reached out, hey, final payment is due in, let's say, 5 days. Let me know if you'd like to use a card on file, or do you need a new credit card authorization form? He responded back. He goes, I'm not going to lie. He's like, I'm a little leery about turning over $7,000 to you. And I found you on YouTube. And so I said, okay, that's understandable. Like, you don't know me. You found me on YouTube. I said, but let me give you some information to make you feel more comfortable. I said, you can check my reviews on Google. You can check my BBB page. I have reviews there as well. Let's get on a Zoom so you can see that it's me. I said, and if there's anything else that you want to get on a phone call, I just want you to be comfortable. And so he checked the links, he checked the Google reviews, he checked the BBB, checked those reviews there, and responded back. I feel so much more comfortable. Thank you so much. He said, because I wasn't sure if you were like a catfish. So even leading up to his trip, I created a beautiful itinerary. I sent that over. He goes, okay, I guess a catfish wouldn't do this. This is awesome. Thank you. Before he left, I gave recommendations. He's like, oh, this is awesome. On the trip, I said, send me some photos. Like, I want to, wish you a happy anniversary on my Instagram page. He sent the photos. He's like, Adrienne, this process was amazing. Thank you so much. He said his wife was shocked because he's like, I never do anything like this. And I'm happy I did. I'm happy I found you. So it is like when you are, have a client coming from social media, you want to have a place where they can go to check your reviews to make sure, you're real. Because they're turning over thousands of dollars. I had another, a couple, they told me what they were looking for. They wanted to go to Grenada. And actually, Mark, if you don't mind, I'd like to touch on Grenada if we could.
Absolutely.
But great. So their trip, the total was $32,000. It was a family of 5.
Ooh,
they found me on YouTube and they booked within like 2 days. Now with that, I was surprised they didn't want to get on a Zoom to make sure that it was me. But on the phone, we spoke for about 40 minutes. We exchanged text messages, and I guess it just made them feel very comfortable. And $32,000, they booked. They just came back from their trip. They had a wonderful time, and it was amazing. But you just have to have some place they can go to. Website. Another reason why a website is important. Another reason why you shouldn't be using a Gmail or a Yahoo account. Like, you want to, be professional and make them feel that they trust you.
Absolutely. And just to add to that, I would say one of the other things to say is we don't run your credit card through our agency. It's actually run through the travel supplier. So if you're booking sandals, it's going to show up as a sandals charge. It's going to show up as a excellence, whatever, ALG charge, whatever. And so, that's something that they got to understand. It's not like I'm taking the money. I'm actually a pass-through entity to pay the supplier. And then, like I mentioned in our initial consultation or whatever you might say, they then, after your trip, pay me a percentage of your trip as my compensation. And then, then the wheels start going, they start thinking, oh my God, so they pay you. So if I book direct, I'm going to get more money. No. It's called straight guarantee. They don't charge you any more or less. You're going to pay the same rate and you're not going to get the same benefits. Forget about my personal service. You're not going to get the $200 resort credit. That's only if you book through a travel advisor. You're not going to get that sunset, romantic dinner on the beach or whatever that little extra stuff that you make for them. So I think that's really interesting on how, they're fearful. And it makes sense because even today, like you said, there are people afraid to use their credit card on the internet because of scams. And it's usually the phishing scams where you click on a link, you think it's something, and they have a fake website. You're not taking payments through your website. And that's the other thing to say. If you just said, well, if you go to my website, let me ask you a question. You see any way to take payment on my website? Right? And I'm not sitting in a call center in India or Nigeria or wherever. Right?
Yes, that is so true. And you made a valid point because I do think that the clients think, okay, I'm paying Breathless Getaways. Like, no, you're paying the supplier. Whether I go through ALG or I go direct with the hotel, like it's not Breathless Getaway. We don't get that money. Like they pay us a commission. The money goes directly to the supplier.
And the other thing to say is, and this may surprise a lot of clients. And just so you know, other than my planning fee, I get paid nothing until you travel on your trip. Right. And I usually have to wait 30, 60, 90 days after you travel before I even ever get paid. And so it's, again, I'm working for you. I'm getting it done. I'm
Right.
making sure you have a great trip. And I love what you said about asking them for some photos while they're on their trip,
I
because
love
again, you can say, "Hey, I just booked this client to Grenada.
that.
It's for their honeymoon or whatever." Like, and you have to make sure they're okay with that because some people don't want
Yes.
their personal stuff out there. But
Right.
most people would be like, "Oh, that's amazing. Thank you so much." Yeah. And then like,
Yeah.
and it costs you nothing. It costs
Nothing.
zero.
Yep, that is so true. But yeah, so I always ask them first, like if you're okay with it, if you want to share some photos, I'd love to post it on my Instagram page because it is what I'll post it in my stories,
Yep.
and I'll say, happy anniversary to my amazing clients celebrating in whichever hotel or country they're in, and then I have people that will actually have some photos right now and like images to share. For the most part, people are happy to share that.
Yep.
I had a client who she celebrated her 50th birthday, another Sandals Grenada, celebrated her 50th birthday, and I had them surprise her at dinner with balloons, a cake, a bottle of champagne. So she
Nice.
sends me a message on WhatsApp with pictures like, Adrienne, I almost cried. She was like, thank you so much for the personalized touch. She's like, the whole restaurant was saying happy birthday to me. I almost cried. So I took a snapshot of her message and the photo. I posted it on my Instagram story, and then I sent it to Sandals Grenada and told them, thank you so much for pulling this off. Because, it was a last minute request too. It was maybe 3 days before her birthday.
Okay.
Last minute request, and they pulled it off. But yeah, I think that's really helpful too. People
Super.
see, oh, she's booking clients to this destination.
Yep. And this is why I love what we're doing with Travel Tube, because listen to Adrienne, listen to some of the things she's done. They can be replicated. And I think that when more advisors slash agents are doing what you're doing, it builds the entire credibility of the whole distribution channel. And
Yes.
and over the years, I found people like they're not willing to share ideas or whatever. The
Hmm.
reality is 90% of people will hear it. They'll just keep doing the same thing they've been doing. And you know what? God bless them, right? It is what it is.
Hmm.
Or as they say in the South, bless your heart. Yeah.
Yep.
I used that on a post yesterday on a story that was political. I don't want to go there because I'll get in
Oh.
trouble. But it was like I was like, bless your heart if you still think whatever, right?
Yes.
Because it's like this one publication that would never write this stuff wrote this stuff, and
Oh.
I've got former employees that's like I could basically post something and I know who's going to respond first and how fast, and it's going to be like I go like, dude, do you have a full-time job? Because you just surveil Facebook for Mark Murphy posts, but
Oh my goodness, that's
yeah,
funny.
but this is good. This is great. So thank you so much for your time today. I think you've given a bunch of great gems, and I'm
Thank
glad to see
you.
your success. And I'm glad I found you on YouTube.
Thank you so much. I was so happy to get your email. Of course, I had to do my research on you first. And I'm like, this man is amazing. So
Oh,
I
thank
was
you.
really, really happy to be here. Thank you so much. And this was a lot of fun. Can I just drop one more gem?
Go for it.
Okay. So I know I talked about the last vacation that I took, which was Antigua, but I just want to tell you all, if you have not been to Grenada or sent your clients to Grenada, this is a hidden gem that you need to start selling and visit. So Grenada right now is my favorite Caribbean island. It is so different from Jamaica, the other Caribbean islands, and I'll tell you why really quick, why it's so different. So there's 42 gorgeous beaches. They have over 15 waterfalls. There's a lot of nature, unspoiled beaches, like white powdered sand. There are luxury hotels there, family, adults only. The locals are so friendly. And Grenada is known as the Spice Island. And it's because their spices are so pure, potent. They're available all over. They have so many spices. They're known for like their nutmeg, ginger, bay leaves. So the food there is incredible. I've been to a lot of Caribbean islands, and I have to say, there in Grenada has the best food I've ever had. You want to do like local experiences as well as, of course, visiting the top attractions there in Grenada, but definitely do a waterfall. I'd recommend visit the chocolate factory. So they're known for their chocolates. The chocolates are the best that you will ever have. Even like a chocolate cake. I remember I ordered a slice of chocolate cake at this restaurant, and I asked them, what's in this cake? Because it was the best chocolate cake I ever had. And they were like, chocolate. I said, but no, what else? They were like, that's it. That's our chocolate. Chocolate is amazing there. The food is so good. The locals, it's a safe island. So
Yeah.
I went there on a fam trip, and I've been going back ever since. So I've been there 6 times now, and I'm going back probably in another month or two. So
Wonderful.
Grenada has not been on your list. Definitely add it.
All right. All right. So another gem, another gem. So again,
Yes.
thank you so much.
Thank
Um,
you.
and stick around. We're gonna we got a couple other things to share, but for now, we're gonna say goodbye from the podcast. And I hope you got a lot of great insights here, folks.
All right. Thank you so much, Mark.
You're welcome.
Bye.